Welcome, everybody, to your favorite Wednesday night podcast, the Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society. And tonight, we've got a good one for you. We've got a local favorite, a southern favorite, the Rougarou. The Rougarou share. We're bringing it to you live and in living fur, because that's what it is. Half man, half beast, half swamp creature. I don't know. It's a werewolf. I think it's a werewolf. Many other people say it's a werewolf.
Beast.
Or yes, the Bayou Beast. That's another one for you. A lot of other people say it's swamp creature, but we're about to get into it, y'all. So, Swamp Thing. No, not really Swamp Thing. More like swamp creature.
Not so much.
Not so much Swamp Thing. Definitely Bayou Beast. Definitely, for sure. I've heard that one.
Definitely a cryptid.
Definitely a cryptid. So, we're about to get into it. So, grab your snacks, grab your favorite cuddle buddy. Get your blankets, make sure you got the salt, and let's get into it. Here we go. All right, so the Rougarou, as we have found out, is from the 16th century and hails from France, y'all. And we all know our good southern Cajun folk from Louisiana back in the bayou have their own French Cajun that they like to speak. And I love it. I don't know if you've heard it personally yourselves, but I've heard it almost on the daily down here where I live, and it is amazing. You have to experience it firsthand. Cajun French is amazing. It's a language all on its own, y'all. So that's how we get Rougarou from Loup Garou. It's two different spells. Loup Garou is French.
Is it Lou or Loop?
Lou. You don't pronounce the P. So it's Lougarou.
All right. So
and you got, and if you're gonna, the P
like
is silent. That's right, like pterodactyl. But that's the French version, all right. And then you got the Cajun French version, or just the Cajun version, and that's Rougarou. Go ahead and say it. I know you've been trying to say it all day. Go ahead and say it, girl. Go on now.
Rougarou.
I just want you to say it one more time for me, because I got
the Rougarou.
I didn't realize how different it sounds coming from the different dialects, because you've been up north way too long. Way too long.
Am I saying it wrong? How do I say it?
You're pronouncing all the letters. You can't pronounce all the letters. You gotta drop off some of the letters.
But it's the Rougarou, right?
Rougarou. You gotta drop off some of the letters. Rougarou. It's that southern mush mouth that you're gonna put. That's great.
All right.
Great. I love that. We've already got comments.
What is this Rougarou?
That is amazing. Okay, so
you know.
Dude, the Rougarou, Rougarou comes from France. It originated in France. It started with around the same time that they were doing the witch hunts. Okay.
And these things had kind of a witch hunt type deal all of their own, from what I gather.
Yeah, they did.
But the reason people were trying to put these things down and kill them and, burn them at the stake and everything else.
Yeah. Well, it depends on which version of the Rougarou or the Loup Garou we're going with. If you go with the 16th century version of France, it was tied to a witch's curse. And that's how you could find the witch. Through the curse.
Was there anything that indicated how it was done, or is it just one of those mystery things where it must just be a curse kind of thing? Blame it on the witches, it's got to be a curse. Or is there actual evidence of curses pertaining to this?
Well, no. Okay. The way they put it in France and back in the 16th century, everybody was on a witch hunt. You could have a freckle on the palm of your hand and you were a witch. Okay.
Right.
And so if anybody in the village was acting weird, strange, a little off, kind of twitchy, hanging out in left field a little too long, there was something wrong with you. So they would come up with, it's not my fault I'm a little weird. It's not my fault I'm a little off. Miss Susie, 93-year-old woman out there, her, the one that bakes the really good bread that's mysteriously like free of weevils. That lady, yeah, she totally put this curse on me. And now, yeah, I can turn into this beast. Ooh, see, it's not my fault. Okay, and that's how I'm serious. This is how this crap would go back then. You didn't have to have a logical reason. There was no logic to it. Okay.
Basically, if you were mentally ill or if you had some kind of deformity or anything that would make you different from the general populace, like you were considered crazy and, a witch or a beast. Or, yeah,
you were touched. You were a little. You were, a little crooked.
Definitely not a good time to be alive. Now,
it was not.
The modern take on it is the creature is supposed to be 7 to 8 feet tall, has horrible sharp teeth and glowing red eyes, and is supposed to be kind of like a modern day werewolf, right? Kind of a humanoid form, tall, furry, muscular, superhuman strength, sharp teeth, what big eyes you have, what big ears you have, what big teeth you have.
Take my basket and run, grandmama.
You can use yours. You can have all the cookies. I don't want them.
Please take all. Just toss the basket in the face and run. Take off running. Just go. But okay, so here's how that went. So as the French started to migrate, right? And they settled in Quebec in Canada. Okay. The whole lore started to change. You know how it does. You know how it goes. The whole word of mouth starts to
keep in mind this was all oral tradition too. So because of the oral tradition, not having the skills that the Aboriginal people do, where, like for instance, the Aborigines, when they carry oral traditions, they like memorize them down to the word and they carry them for thousands of years. Like what you hear today is what you heard 5,000 years ago. It's just the same because they're very, very particular about their oral traditions. But the French and the Europeans, I don't think they were really quite like that. So it was more just a scary folk tale to keep the kids out of the woods and, keep you behaving and, following the rules kind of thing.
Yeah, that's essentially how it evolved. It became one of those, stay out of the woods, you're going to get ate by the werewolf. Stay out of the woods, bad, nasty kids. You're going to get chomped on. The Lougarou is going to get you. And then you're going to be turned into a werewolf. And you're going to be a badass kid for the rest of your life. That's how that turned around when they got to Quebec, right? Up there in Canada. In Canada, folks. And then they started coming down this way.
You make fun of me because of how I say Rougarou. It's Quebec. Quebec. I love it.
Look here.
You have your words.
Give me another one of your words. Let me hear another one of your words. Give me
pop. Soda pop.
Nah, that's just a northern thing. That's fighting words right there. That's not pop. It's Coke. It's Coke or a Pepsi product. All right. We already got comments. We're already making people mad. Stop making folks angry.
What in the Scooby-Doo? Rougarou, Shaggy, Rougarou. Rougarou.
See, that's another northerner right there. He also hails from the Michigan area. Okay, that's what happens. Too many northerners in one area.
Hey, it's the place to be. You should be up here too. Just saying.
I'll visit. That's about as much as you're going to get out of me with that one.
In French, in my French class in high school, we pronounced Quebec as Quebec.
See? Everybody pronounces it differently.
Quebec.
Oh, God. I'm just making Norfolk mad.
Well, careful
What now,
about
Dylan?
that whole northern insult, you know. We won that war.
Should we go into who has the highest rate of incest in the United States on the top 10? Because they're all northern states, Dylan. But we won't go there because we're talking about the Rougarou.
Let's stay on topic, shall we?
So let's go. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Okay,
Medieval
so they go medieval France. That's right.
The witches put a curse on you, and now what? You shapeshift into this hairy monstrosity for how long? Like, how long? Is it a lifetime thing? Is it a generational thing? How does that work?
No. Okay.
How are you
in one
free
telling,
from it?
in one telling, there it's forever. Okay. And another telling, you have a year and a day. A year and 1 day. As long as you don't tell somebody who gave you the curse. Okay. And that part of that one also survived down into the Rougarou of our Cajun brothers and sisters and in-betweenies, frenzies. Okay. Down in New Orleans and Louisiana and the bayous and the backwoods. That part also survived depending on the area of Louisiana that you are speaking to. Now, if you are bit by a Rougarou and they transfer the curse to you, if you do not tell them who drew your blood for a year and a day, you will not turn into a Rougarou. But the moment that you tell them, I was bit by a Rougarou and this is the person who did it, that's the Rougarou right there. Now you get to turn into a Rougarou. And supposedly it lasts for 7 years. If you do it that way. Yeah. Now, if you were to do it with the curse of the witch, it would last for 101 days.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Now, there's so many different retellings and depending on the area. Okay. So on one telling of the Rougarou, it lives in the swampy areas. It eats fleshy things and preys on things like chickens and dogs and frogs and alligators and all of that stuff, right? And on other tellings of the Rougarou, they hunt down, and I'm not lying, okay? I'm not exaggerating, not even a little bit. They hunt down and punish Catholics who haven't observed Lent for 7 years.
So if you don't follow the rules for 7 years worth of Lent, then they come get you. Like that's scary.
Yeah, they hunt you down. Don't tell me how they know, because I don't know how they know. So they just know.
Kind of like the Catholicism thing version of don't go into the woods, like follow the rules, follow Lent, and the Rougarou won't get you.
Pretty much. And don't be a badass kid. Listen to your mom and daddy. Don't go play in the woods. Do what you're told. And you'll be fine. I won't turn into a Rougarou.
In my research, I found that there is actually not only the Rougarou, but there is also different versions of it from a cow, a pig, a chicken, an owl. Yep. Like, that's crazy talk.
It is. It's insane.
Like, there's actually stories of a hunter who shot an owl with a bow and arrow, and then the next day he went back to the area where he shot the owl, and there was a person laying there, gone, and shot with the arrow that the guy shot from the owl. So I guess, and that one in particular was called I'm going to butcher this, Rougarou.
Rougarou? I have never heard of the Rougarou. I have never heard of that version.
Is the owl version, or also known as the were-owl.
The were-owl. Is that also part of Cajun lore?
I don't know if it's Cajun. Actually, you know what? Yeah. According to Daryl Holmes, a Nichols State University assistant professor, he said there are other Louisiana tales talk about other were creatures like were cows, were chickens, even a were crane. So
a were crane.
So I guess
that's insane.
It just depending on where you are. See where? Anyway, where you are.
You're so punny. Look how adorably punny you are. I love it. I love it.
But yeah,
Bernard. That's cute.
Yeah. So depending on where the story hails from, you get different versions, which I guess goes back to the different, that oral tradition of, it changing depending on location, time period, and so on. I mean, there's even ones like from leopards, panthers, and bears. Oh my. So, yeah. So these things.
Where are my ruby slippers?
Oh, hey.
Oh, it's probably Dylan.
Would the whole telling people you turn into it thing count if you wrote it down? I mean, potential loophole there.
It's not. There's no loopholes. It absolutely counts. It absolutely counts. And here's the funny thing about that.
What about Morse code?
Even in Morse code, any kind of communication where you're trying to tell them that there is this human being that can turn into a werewolf or a Rougarou, and it bit you or drew blood. And here's the funny thing, it doesn't even have to bite you. It doesn't have no noms. It doesn't have to nom on you. It only has to draw like 2 or 3 drops of blood from you. Okay. And if it does a little bloodletting, like just a little pinch, just a little droppy drop, that's it. You're done for it. You got the curse. That's it. Here's another thing. Here's a frightening thing for you. Viral. It does sound a little viral, but here's another thing for you. You know how they talk about how the Rougarou has red glowing eyes, right?
Yeah.
The Cajuns will tell you, do not look them in the eyeball. Don't look them in the red glowing gaze, because you can also catch it that way. You can also become a Rougarou by looking deep in their red eyeballs. So you don't want to do that either. So you want to avert your gaze. Like, I don't know anybody else who's going to want to stare down the Rougarou.
Look longingly in their eyes.
Right? Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be like, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to be like, what big pretty eyes you have. No, that's not going to be me. I will not be doing that. I wouldn't do it. I know some other crazy mofos who are listening to us right now who might, but it wouldn't be me. So yeah,
I'm not staying long enough to look into its eyes.
Right. So don't look it in the eye. Avert your gaze. Close your eyes.
Don't get scratched.
What?
Don't get scratched.
Don't get scratched. Don't let it draw blood. And if it does bite you, don't tell anybody who bit you. Like, could you imagine knowing that your neighbor, your grandpappy, your mama, grand auntie, your cousin, your pastor, the cashier at Dollar General, It was a Rougarou. And you're just trying to live your life, and they're just like, they bit you, and now you can't do nothing about it. And you got a smile in their face every Sunday. Shake hands with them.
So here's a question. So let's say they scratched your arm, or I don't know, chomped on your neck, or whatever the case may be. Right. Now, how do you go about explaining that without telling anybody what actually happened? Because that, you've got a big bite mark on your neck. What happened? I slipped. Okay.
I mean, adult activities went too far.
I fell off the steps and the concrete bit me.
I could come up with a few, but they wouldn't be PG. I'll tell you that. It wouldn't be PG. So I would have to come up with some outlandish stuff. Like, I don't know. I volunteered at the zoo one day, and it was a rabbit marmot that came after me. It was a capybara. Those things are vicious. They're really not. Actually, the capybaras are wonderful, loving creatures. They're so... Oh, my God. I love capybaras. I want one so bad, but I can't have one. Anyways, moving on.
Largest rodent in the world.
I know, and they're so great. They're like the moms. They're the embodiment of Mother Earth. They just mom everyone. Everyone. It doesn't matter. Alligators, crocodiles. They're just like, hello, baby. Let me just. Have you eaten today? Are you hydrated? I freaking love capybaras. They're amazing. Anyway, sorry. Got a little sidetracked. Let me drink my Red Bull for a second.
We got comments here. Let's go ahead and listen to those.
All right.
I've also heard that the Rougarous, the werewolf types, were cursed men who had done something like rape women or hurt a child.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So
that is true.
Is it just because of the act? Because, okay, so with the Wendy boy, it was the act of eating another person that would cause the person doing the eating to transform into the Wendy boy. So is it along those lines where the act is what causes the curse? Or is it something like, oh, somebody found out that you did this and now you're cursed because they cursed you? I don't know.
Normally it had to do with a witch. Yeah. And that was in one version that I read. Like, a person committed a horrible act and they were cursed to be a Loup Garou. And they're similar to werewolves, all right? And we keep referring to them as werewolves, but they're not exactly like werewolves because they only have like the top half. And what I mean by the top half is just kind of like their pectorals up is werewolf. It's wolf head, shoulders, arms is wolf-like, claws and everything like that. But everything else is like humanoid.
Okay.
And they're larger than werewolves. They're stronger than werewolves. And another thing about them is that they don't have to have a full moon to wolf out, to go all Rougarou Hulk like. They just, anytime. Just bloop.
Interesting.
Nighttime.
So they're not really to the restrictions of like moon phases and stuff like that.
Nope. They can do it whenever. I mean, it's at nighttime, but they don't have to wait for a full moon or anything of that nature to Hulk out, go all furry.
Another difference between this and werewolves is like the whole lycanthropy thing, where with lycanthropy, it's supposed to be like a virus. It's supposed to spread, almost like, like if you were to get bit and then the virus spread to you, or same thing with vampires and stuff too. So those are kind of different than this. This is more of a superstition, supernatural type thing where it's not necessarily virus related.
Right. It's a curse. And you have to pass it on to somebody, or it has to be given to you by something that you like. It's just, they're depending on the version. Like I said, depending on the version that you're hearing. But the biggest belief is that it's a supernatural being that just kind of lives in that Rougarou form out in the swamps and just is general terror to people, just generalized terror.
So they don't necessarily switch back and forth. It's just once they switch, they're a Rougarou for like from then on until it's gone, or like can they shapeshift back into like a normal person and go back to work the next day? Yeah.
They can they go right back to their human form. Now, this is going off of the French version of the Loup Garou into the Cajun version of the Rougarou. If you follow that trail from the 16th century to present day, and the way that it's been modernized, I'll say, and depending on the area of Louisiana that you're in and who you're speaking to, you will have it as this is just a cryptid that preys on farm animals and children. And if you're out at night, you better have fire, a way to decapitate them, or somewhere that you can get quickly indoors, and another way that you can keep them occupied until they can shift back. And this is like for the shifting version, when they can go from Rougarou to person, 13 objects. Because apparently while they're in their Rougarou form, in their furry nature, they can't count past 12. So they get frustrated and confused, and they start over again, and they start counting until they hit 12, and then they get to that last one, and they're like, oh my God, what is that? What am I supposed to do with this last one? And then they start over again, and apparently it keeps them busy until the sun rises, and they shift back into their human form, and then they kind of toddle off. To me just...
That sounds oddly similar to another one that we talked about. I cannot remember which cryptid or which one we were talking about, but it was like you put a broom outside and they have to count all the bristles. Which one was that?
That one we haven't spoken about yet.
That one, I want to say Sacred Light brought that up. I can't remember. Hopefully she can enlighten us. But it was kind of along the same lines where you leave a broom outside and then they're just like, ooh, there's bristles. I have to count them. And then they spend all night counting them. And then by the time they're done counting the bristles on the broom, it's daylight. And they're like, well, crap, I missed my chance. Something along that line.
That one is something that we're going to be talking about in a future podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at you getting ahead of yourself.
I didn't even know.
But you are you are correct. It is the Boo Hag. The Boo Hag is one that we were going to speak about in another podcast. And we might as well see. Just what's the cat on?
My bad.
Miss Laney. It's the Boo Hag of the Goop people who are. And let me tell you, that podcast, you don't want to miss that one, because it is going to have so much culture and heritage. I went down a rabbit hole with the Boo Hag that I was just like, oh, it's just another Southern cryptid that has become a part of Southern culture. Ladies and gentlemen, no, you will be pleasantly surprised on that podcast. But yes, it is the Boo Hag. You leave the broom outside and they have to count. They get stuck counting all of the bristles on the broom. And that's
I wonder
what
what
keeps
it
them
is
from
that causes supernatural creatures to want to stop what they're doing and count.
supernatural OCD. It does not discriminate.
They're like, 1, 2, 3. Ah, dang it. 1, 2, 3.
Just saying, supernatural OCD. It does not discriminate, people. It does not discriminate. Everybody has something. And apparently we have found the cryptids that have the OCD. They gotta count. They gotta make sure all the bristles are there.
Right?
There's even
We've got
a
comments
lot
piling up.
listen to it before I even get started on OCD.
I can't get a cut. I can't look in its eyes. I'm just staying out of the bayou. Screw that.
There's a lot of interesting cryptids in the bayou in New Orleans and Louisiana. There's hold on. Let me look it up while we listen to the rest of them, because I've got them on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember them correctly. Hold on. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Listen to them.
All right. By the way, Dylan, I'm with you. I'll stay out of the bayou. You and me, we'll just stay up north. How about that? It's safe and sound.
It was during the episode about the fair folk and the brownies, basically, and the hobbits.
Ah, yes. There we go. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
OCD affects us all. It's a real MFer.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Those type of creatures can also be distracted with grains of sand scattered on your front door, or crystals, or any objects that would get their attention.
Ooh, shiny things. Yes. All right. Well, that's cool. Sooth, are you there?
I'm looking. I gotta find the thing. Now, see, you don't understand, because now I'm all
got
like,
awfully quiet.
hold on. I gotta, hold on a second. Now, I know there's a, it's a swamp thing that's out there, because we talked about it, and now it's got
something. I will cover the first official case of the Loup Garou.
Well, do it up, girl.
No.
Do it up while I look this up.
All right. So the story goes that in the 1570s, Gilles Garnier, he apparently did some really bad stuff and hurt some kids. And when the people who were wondering where their children went finally found him over their bodies, they basically captured him, and he told them that he was given a tincture by a demon, and this tincture allowed him to transform into a wolf, or werewolf, Loup Garou, however you want to say it. But this was supposed to be the first reported case. Oh, my bad. Loup Garou.
It's Loup Garou.
The P throws me off.
Silence.
There's no T to buffer. You can't say pterodactyl.
See? It's not a pterodactyl. It's not a Loup Garou either.
But the T is a
I'm sorry, keep going. Oh my god.
So yeah.
Tincture, right. Keep going. Okay, so he turned into a Loup Garou from the tincture.
Right. Turned into a Loup Garou, and basically they killed him anyway because he had consorted with evil, and he not only did that, he hurt the children. So yes, he got burned at the stake in 1573 on January 18th. So, what have
As
we learned?
he should have. What have we learned?
Don't take tinctures from demons. Just say it.
Oh, I took from that don't hurt children, but I mean,
Well, if he hadn't taken the tincture, he wouldn't have turned into the Loup Garou, and he wouldn't have hurt the children. Cause and effect.
how about D, all of the above? Don't be a crappy human being.
Whedon's Law.
Ta-da!
Don't be
Right. Don't be a crappy human being and everybody will be fine. So I found what I was looking for.
Oh, nice.
And it's the Grunch.
The Grunch.
The Grunch.
Not to be confused with the Grinch.
Right. It's called the Grunch. It's the Grunch, and it looks like a bat with spines. And
Ooh.
it kind of looks like a bat creature with a lizard, and it's just all weird looking. I'm going to post it in our Discord so you guys can see it.
Is that another bayou creature, or is that?
It's another bayou creature. I'm telling you, Louisiana is chock full of these guys. And then there's the I can't even pronounce this correctly, so I apologize in advance. It's a Manchik swamp curse. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to have to look at that. And then there's the Honey Island swamp monster.
Now
that one kind of looks like a green version of Bigfoot.
All right.
With glowing red eyes.
You have basically proven to me that up here in the north, we are much better off because, sure, we've got three big baddies. We've got the Windy Boy, we've got
the
Bigfoot,
and Mothman. Well, the Wendigo.
I mean,
Skinwalkers.
Windy Boy, and Bigfoot, and the Cynocephali. But we have like 17 different kinds of swamp creatures. I mean, come on.
Look, swamp creatures I could contend with, all right? That's all right. You just, as I would say previously, I will punch the initiative. If I can punch it, then I'm all right. But look, up there, you guys got those things that come out of Game of Thrones. All right? I'm going to need me a Stark. Okay? An Arya Stark. Somebody, I can't even use a dragon because the dragons got taken down. Like,
no dragon glass.
I don't even have that. I ain't even got that. Like, I am no man. That don't even work. You know, from Lord of the Rings, where it's like, no man can kill me. I am no man. Can't even do that. Can't even do that. Like, I can't even kill him because I'm a woman. You don't even get that. I don't even get that advantage. Not with that. Not with skinwalkers and wendigos and mothmans and melon-headed children.
Well,
you got your own version of the Loch Ness monster.
Hey,
okay,
that thing is a national treasure. Okay, that's a big treasure.
Okay. What's that other one that It's another cryptid. It's a flying cryptid. No, it's a flying cryptid that's I believe it's in Pennsylvania area in the woods. Flies, eats.
Oh, you're talking about the snallygaster?
Yeah, the snallygaster. Okay, so I don't want to hear it from Jill. Okay, hey, I don't want to hear nothing from Jill about that. It's in the general vicinity.
We have Mishu Pishu, which is our Loch Ness, Lake Superior.
Yes, please continue to tell me how much better it is up there. I want to hear it. What island? Isn't there an island up there that also has like a Fey portal? It's a giant house with dancing dolls around it.
I don't.
We haven't even discussed that one. We haven't discussed that one on the podcast yet. We were going to discuss that on the Paranormal Umbrella.
We do have a Stonehenge.
Another portal.
We also have 4 comments that we need to listen to.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go.
Sorry, I was going on a rant here.
And it's a possum, not an opossum.
Oh, see? Yeah, there you go. See, the O is silent.
We're getting into North versus South cryptid style here.
I think it's fascinating, honestly. I can crack all the jokes I want to crack about it, but I love it. I love the differences. It's what makes this awesome. So
every state has a cryptid, guaranteed.
Oh, every state has a cryptid, a different way to pronounce things, and I think it's awesome. Honestly, I think that's what makes everybody great, is the way that we all have a different dialect and a different way of pronouncing things and a different way of doing things. And it's just, and then we all kind of clash together at the barbecue, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool.
Exactly.
I think it's awesome. Anyway, go ahead. What we got next?
All right.
Up north, we got the winter to keep us safe from those terrifying things.
Yes,
Dylan spoke too soon. What lurks in the winter?
Well,
You also have the Jersey Devil, and other things in the Appalachians.
That's what I was talking about. The Jersey Devil. That thing.
but I'm not. I don't live over there. Tina's over that direction.
Don't give that girl no more complexes. She don't need no more reasons to go to therapy. We don't need to give her no more reasons to go. No more. She won't even leave her house at this point. I am surprised that she even goes to the grocery store anymore, all right? And it's storming where she's at right now. The atmosphere. It's all
safe,
set up
Tina.
like we got her all set up like the 90s Are You Afraid of the Dark right now. That poor child.
The North remembers.
Exactly. I'm telling you, I need a Stark. I ain't gonna make
It's
it.
been going on how different people pronounce words. Is it pecan or pecan? Yeah, I'm doing that. Which one is it?
Tina.
I say pecan.
It's pecan.
Pecan.
It's pecan.
Tomato.
Like pecan.
Potato,
like
potato.
pecan. It's sweet potatoes. Potato stew. You ain't got no potatoes? All right, Samwise.
Apple, what is over here with me? What the no? I need Khelek to elaborate on what the hell did she just say? That's over there
Jersey
with me.
Devil.
What are you talking about with that? Elaborate. I need elaboration right now.
It's the Jersey Devil, girl, and that's a whole nother podcast.
It really is. It's a winged creature. That's all you need to know.
And that story is fascinating on its own.
Oh.
And it starts with a curse, too, in the middle of the woods in a lonely cabin.
We will
It's-
definitely be covering that one.
We will definitely be covering the Jersey Devil, because I love the story of the Jersey Devil, because it takes all sorts of twists and turns. Like, whoo, you thought it was going to go one way, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're getting hit in the back of the head with, what? No. Really?
Right? It's like
crazy.
Out west, they've got cattle mutilations and everything. Out there, they have cattle in the power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, whole ass people. So, with holes in their chest. Yeah.
She gonna say some damn be safe, Tina. No. No, be safe, Tina. I need elaboration on that. What is he just say that is over there with me? And why is Jesse in the Discord telling me good luck with the Jersey Devil? You know what? Y'all really don't think I'm gonna go to Pluto. Y'all think I'm joking. Y'all think I'm joking. Okay.
We better start. Go ahead and pack up her lifetime supply of nuggies. We might as well get her a lifetime supply of nuggies. I'm just going to start getting her like McDonald's gift cards at this point so that she can start stocking up, or maybe a Sam's Club card. I don't know, because she's going to need it. You can't
Uber,
escape it.
do you deliver to Uber Eats? Do you deliver to Pluto? Well, it's out of your range.
It's totally out of your range. We're totally off topic here. We're totally off topic here. But speaking of cattle mutilations, that is another way that you can tell that the Rougarou has struck. It drains them completely of their blood.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, like completely. There's not a drop left anywhere, not even around the carcass, not in the carcass. It's not a messy eater.
Would you say it prefers animals or humans? Or actually, here's a question for you. Does it have intelligence?
I would say that it's sentient. I would say that it has intelligence for sure, because it can discern between creatures and humans, and it knows how to get inside a house. I mean, I'd say
but
it's
it
an
only knows how to
intelligent
count to 12. So there's that.
Everybody's got flaws. I wasn't saying it was perfect, I mean, it still retains some of its animalistic behavior. I mean...
Yeah, just saying.
I mean, you were hashtag the rake last week, okay? I don't want to hear it from you. You and Jesse.
Hey, I feel for that guy. Like,
I don't.
The gets a bad rap. Sure, it's got long, spindly, sharp talons and, is creepy as all get out, but I think he's just a normal creature trying to get by. He's malnutrition. He's got, he's skinny. He needs to eat.
Speaking of being skinny and malnutrition, that's another way that you can tell somebody is infected with the curse of the Rougarou. When they are in their human form, they're gaunt and pale and gray and sickly. And they look sick, like sunken in cheeks and hollow eyes and, the whole nine yards. What?
So basically a zombie.
Well, it's like if somebody had like it's like somebody had like the walking pneumonia or something and decided to go to work, They got the sweats. They look sick.
In this day and age.
It would not. But I'm just saying, if somebody was really ill and they decided, I'm just going to be a trooper and I'm going to push through it. I'm just going to keep going. And they do. And, you see how people get really sick and they won't take care of themselves and lay down, take your medicine and your Robitussin, take your Tylenol, switch between Tylenol and Motrin every 4 hours. Come on now. They ain't doing it. They ain't listening to the doctor. They ain't staying home. They ain't doing what they need to do. So they look sick. They don't look okay.
Oddly enough, the French that went to Quebec, they influenced the native cultures in that area, and the Rougarou is almost kind of known along the same lines as the Wendigo.
The Wendigo, yes.
They connect the two together, as in it's all one creature.
They did. The French did with the First Nation people, and the First Nation tribes up there as they were migrating. I guess because you were talking about they were in Canada, so they were migrating further south towards the border. But
right.
with them, the Wendigo is, as we've discussed in one of our earlier podcasts, is a flesh eater.
Right.
It's gluttonous. And that's all it eats. is human flesh, as opposed to the Rougarou. It doesn't. It doesn't discriminate. It goes for anything. It's an omnivore in the meat department. Okay,
By
it
the
doesn't
way,
discriminate.
it shops in the frozen food section.
It does. I mean, may it be beef, right? May it be beef, or may it be, Mr. Ed from
Yikes! The talking horse
food store, whatever. Or the talking horse. Or the talking horse. I mean, it doesn't discriminate. It eats what it eats. Doesn't eat vegetables, but
We're getting a lot of comments. Let's listen to these.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't the Jersey Devil kind of locked away in some big box thing in the woods in Jersey, or am I thinking of something else?
There's a theory on that. There's a building that has no windows and no doors, and it's in the middle of the forest. I seen it. And
you seen it with your own eyes.
Well, I seen pictures. But
You seen pictures of. I guess it's the same thing.
hey, close enough. It's as close as I'll ever get to that building. All right, let's listen to these other ones.
A winged creature. Ow. Ow. Yeah. Y'all keep coming up with different cryptids that's over here with me. Y'all keep giving me different ones. And y'all must really don't think we're going to Pluto. I will leave y'all here by yourselves. Y'all losing y'all free ticket to Pluto with me. Y'all losing it.
Hey.
Y'all think oh, y'all got me messed up with someone else. I will leave.
She's done. I don't think she could do much more of these podcasts, girl. I'm just saying. She's going to have to be on medication at some point. We're going to have medical bills for poor Tina.
That sounds very, very familiar to the issues that people were having on Skinwalker Ranch, saying that the cattle and everything was being drained of their blood completely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Could they be similar, or could it be something completely different?
Well, those are
Noodle
skinwalkers. So, I mean, they are technically shapeshifters. It's along the same lines. I'm assuming there's differences in like cultural references, but as we have found between a lot of cryptids, you've got like the cynocephali, which is started in northern India and then became the dogman of North America. They names and all that stuff change depending on location and who you talk to. So it's possible that, they could be related, but I don't know.
Evolving, adapting.
Right.
Adapting to their surroundings. Maybe like they're just like cousins, like different versions of themselves, or like the way they've evolved to their environment. Like skinwalkers, you hear a lot of skinwalkers are around like the desert areas. And
I just don't want them all inviting me to their family barbecue, their family get together. I'll pass on that one.
Now I got to do it.
I'm sure those guys can get down, but I don't want to be there when they do.
Or in other cases, get up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't know. Could you imagine seeing one of those things like crawling the walls? Just crawling the wall, just bloop, 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 right into the ceiling, and you're just trying to eat your cheeseburger. What you think is a cheeseburger? Because you don't know who barbecued that day. Now I made you think about it, didn't I? Because now you don't know if is it a cheeseburger. We may never know.
There's a reason I don't really eat red meat anymore. I'm good with that. I'll stick with my turkey burgers.
Is it turkey though? We won't know. It depends. Who brought the meat to the barbecue today? Was it the Skinwalker? Was it the Wendigo? Was it the Rougarou?
As long as I'm not the one being hot and I'm not participating at the barbecue, I'm good.
That's a t-shirt idea. Could you imagine them all dressed like dads standing around a barbecue flipping a burger?
Who wants a drumstick?
I can't. My brain. I love my brain. It's such a great brain. I love my gray matter. It takes me places. It's fantastic. This is why I can't really get scared of a lot of things, because my brain just goes to these areas, and now I'm just imagining like Bigfoot with one of the dad hats on, wearing, some New Balances on his big feet, flipping a burger, holding a Miller Lite in his hand. I can't now. I'm not afraid of it anymore. Now it's not Bigfoot. Now it's like, are the cheeseburgers ready? Hold up. Wait, who brought the meat this time? That's where my brain goes. I can't help it. It's just the way I function. Anyway, so yeah.
All right.
What?
More comments.
More comments.
Good morning to you both. Hope you're both okay. It's morning
Yes,
for me,
thank you.
should I say. It's 10 to 3 in the morning. I should probably go to bed
Oh, well,
soon.
good morning to you.
The whole concept around rakes and rougarous, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You are.
I mean, whether it's based on myth or fact and evidence, I think we can all agree that it's safe to assume that these creatures, for want of a better word, have died out long ago or are slowly dying out, and there's very few of them left in the world. So, in a way, you have to try and put yourself in the position of what if you were the only one of your kind left? How would you
he's getting deep.
react
Oh, yeah.
to the populace that surrounds you, Perception.
That's a good point. And
They went deep. They went deep with that one. We actually discussed that with the rake.
yeah, coming into more populated areas like backyards and stuff like that. So,
Right.
yeah, as like natural, forests and wildlife kind of get depleted and cut down and turn into apartments and houses and everything else, they don't have anywhere to go. So, guess where they are now? In the cities.
Coming to a window near you.
Right? Yikes.
That's a reference from last week. Coming to a window near you. No, you're right. You hit on a good point there, because they're learning to. I believe that the few that are probably still around are learning to adapt. And like the Bigfoot, for instance, that's the biggest one, right? So everybody is doing the Bigfoot sightings. It's the one that we see the most in mainstream media is Bigfoot huntings and Bigfoot sightings. And we were actually just discussing this with Jesse, one of our listeners, and our social media management team, that there were shows, like whole series made about Sasquatch and Bigfoot, and how they're kind of where they migrated more into the mountains. And we discussed that with them sharing the cave systems in the Appalachian Mountains with the rake, and using those systems to travel between states safely.
Right.
I mean, it's
using
theory.
the underground network.
Right. It's a theory, but I mean, we
I think it's a pretty sound one.
I do too. I think it's there. Why not use it? They've been around longer than we have, I'm assuming.
Sure.
So,
And I'm assuming they live longer than we do. So, it's entirely possible that they can learn the underground networks, travel where they need to go, and stay out of sight.
right. Got deep with that one, man.
I know.
Baking my noodle here. I'm sitting here making jokes and stuff, and we're talking about things that are going extinct, people. That's kind of crazy. Putting it in perspective.
Save the cryptids.
Hashtag save the cryptids. That's another good one. What do we got next?
Oh, here we go.
So our boy here, the Rougarou, is just a malnourished, Wendigo chupacabra, suckling out the blood till there's nothing left and just not wanting to like rumors.
Yeah, that's another great
He's teaching
comparison.
people etiquette.
Teaching people etiquette.
Don't talk about. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk.
You don't talk about Fight Club. Number one rule: you don't talk about a Fight Club. No, that's another great comparison, Dylan. They actually do compare the Rougarou and the chupacabra. Although the chupacabra is smaller in size, and well, I guess depending on who you talk to.
Region, right?
Mexico and Texas.
Yeah, the southern or more southwest states. Arizona, Texas, the more deserty places. Mm-hmm. More
canine, less wear, and hairless in some regions.
Right.
And it's vampiric. Well, they say it's vampiric, but it also goes for internal organs. Not so much the meaty bits, just the inside meaty bits. So, and it goes for the blood too. So that's another version of that. They're a cousin. They're all connected. I think it's so crazy how it's all connected. These cultures that were separated from each other for so long, and then all coming together in this wonderful melting pot, and we're all learning. Yeah, this cryptid melting pot all coming together, and we're all learning that all of these great things, that is like, hey, that's similar to my thing. Really? Because I have the same thing, but it does this. It's really cool how, all of these cultures have these different cryptids, but they all have similarities, and they all have morals. Like, it's like the moral of the story is if you don't do this, this is what you're going to turn into. And a lot of the morals that these cryptids origins are based off of are really similar, if not exactly the same. So, though I would have to say that the Rougarou is the first one that I've come across that has to deal directly with Catholicism. Directly with Catholicism. That was a first for me. I mean, aside from the cynosyphili that was sainted, but but he wasn't directly connected. Like he didn't spawn from Catholicism. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he was more what is the term? Canonized?
Yeah, he was canonized.
And
sainthood.
As a cynosyphili, and there were church members that didn't agree with it, and then tried to cover it all up and be like, no, he's human, and then changed some of the paintings and tried to make him more human, and say, oh well, Catholicism, Christianity saved him from that.
Right.
As if
always covering it up.
A different creature is something to be ashamed of.
Mm-hmm. Always covering it up. What do we got next?
I digress. Mrs. Glad.
Oh, yay.
Oh, my gosh. Are you guys doing the Rougarou? You're doing the Rougarou.
We're doing the Rougarou. Hi.
I have been waiting for this moment, forever, because no one ever does Rougarou, ever. And I live in Louisiana, so I don't know how much I've missed, but hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm here.
We're doing great, girl. How are you?
Let's talk Rougarou.
Yes, that's what we've been talking about. We talked about the Rougarou this whole time and about its origins from France and 16th century France and the witch hunts. It was great. You'll have to go back and give the rest a listen, but that's what we've been talking about for this hour is the Rougarou and its origins, and how it's more a half and half instead of more of a werewolf. It's more man-wolf. Wolfman. It's more Wolfman.
There you go.
Instead of werewolf. So.
All right. Let's knock out these next few, and then our time is running out.
It is.
Let's
It's been a
see
great
here.
talk, though.
It has. I've enjoyed it. All right, let's listen to these.
Instead of Dream Daddy dating simulator, it's the Dream Cryptid.
Yeah.
Or better yet, Bigfoot standing around wearing Hey Dudes.
Oh, yeah. I could see Bigfoot wearing Hey Dudes because they're really super comfortable and they mold to your feet. So, and he's got some big feet. I mean, Bigfoot, It makes sense. It makes sense. It does. Now I got the Cryptid barbecue in my head again. It's going to take me forever to get that out of my head. Cryptid barbecue. I'm telling you.
Amazing t-shirts.
It really would. I'm going to have to get on that, and I'm going to have to make us a Cryptid barbecue t-shirt because that's going to be amazing.
That'd be incredible.
It really would. It'd be Cryptid Daddies. We should do that. Cryptid Daddies barbecue. Hashtag
Yes.
Cryptid Daddies.
100%.
100% love that. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We had a great time talking about the Rougarou or the Loup Garou, depending on where you're from and how you're going to pronounce it. And do what?
The Rougarou.
What'd you say? We'll get you there. We'll get you there. We'll get you there, girl. We'll get you there.
Right.
We're gonna have to start teaching you how to say it in Southern speak. That's how we're gonna have to do it. We'll get you there. It'll happen. It'll happen. Oh, we got another comment. What we got?
It's totally pronounced
Exactly.
Y'all can't do Southern mush mouth to save your life.
The Loup Garou.
Loup Garou. Just like Loup. Look, look here. Look here. Rougarou. Rougarou. Rougarou.
Rougarou. All right.
Hey, I have a joke for y'all. Hold on.
Dad joke.
I just wrote a song about tortilla. Well, it's more of a rap, really.
Oh, dad joke for the win. I love it.
It's more of a rap. Okay, I'm done.
She cracks herself up. I love it. I love it when she cracks herself up with her dad jokes.
I done tells you, I seen that Rougarou out there in the bayous.
You tried. You're getting there. You're getting there. Not quite, but almost.
I don't even try.
Don't give up. Don't give up. I believe in you, Dylan. Don't give up. As I was saying, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight on our talk about the Rougarou or the Loup Garou, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. And if you're Southern, it's the Loup Garou. If you're Cajun, I can't pronounce it as Cajun because I'm not a Cajun. But ask a Cajun, and they will love to tell you about it because it's amazing and wonderful. And I love sitting and talking to any Cajuns that I come across because they are amazing. And they have their own language and their own heritage and their own culture. And I highly suggest you guys go out there and you learn because it's a big, wide world out there. Thanks for joining us in the Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society tonight. And if you see and look above our heads, there is this nice little link right here. It has all the links to all the things. We got a Twit, and we got a TikToks, and we got a Discord, and a Facebooks, and a Book Face, and all sorts of other awesome goodness. And because we're just obviously don't have enough on our plates, like Spotify and iHeartRadio, shameless plug, we're also going to be doing Twitch because we've been playing a lot of creepy, spooky games on stream, like Bigfoot Hunter, Inside the Backrooms, and Phasmophobia. So that's been so much fun live streaming that on our Discord. And if you're not a part of our Discord, you're missing out. Become a part of our Discord.
Join anytime.
Right up there on the link. Right there above our heads. Anyways, join us this Friday because we're going to be having our paranormal umbrella. I swear I can talk. I can do it. It's there. I'm not going to tell you what our subject's about because it's pretty spoopy. It's really, this one gives me the creeps. And that's saying something because I don't normally get the creeps very easily. And this one creeps me out. So you're going to have to join us on Friday night to find out what we're talking about and to see how spoopy crazy it is. Until then, it is going to be good. Until then, check under your bed, grab the salt, draw your circles, make sure you got your snuggle buddies, and have a good night, everybody. Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.